We're gonna take this on the internet.
You know who might show up?
Yeah.
Kira is rumored. You know, we might think Kira, but there might be another mastermind afoot.
My boy.
Elliot.
Dripped out with the Crimson Dong.
Incoming transmission from an unknown source. It seems to be urgent. Patching them through. They're calling themselves the HoloNet Marauders.
Everybody, welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast, episode 55. Wowzers. We're getting up there. Almost at 60.
Wowzers is the word.
Yowzers.
I'm AJ.
Wowzers.
Ahoy
Hauser?
to my...
Sorry.
Ahoy to my Marauder pals, Jamie and Matt, or should I say Krrsantan and Matt? Krrsantan.
And
How you guys
Master
doing?
Codebreaker,
Doing well?
Matt.
That's me.
Krrsantan.
That's
For
right.
audio listeners, I decided to start writing my username as Krrsantan instead of just Gem the Jedi, but everything is still just Gem the Jedi. But like for Boba time, I guess it'll be just Krrsantan.
Boba time.
why not,
It is
right?
Boba time.
Boba
We're going to talk about
time.
Always
chapters
Boba time.
Boba time.
3 and 4, the Streets of Mos Espa and the Gathering Storm. And to chat about it with us today, we have our good friends Dylan and Johnny from the All New Nerds. How you guys doing?
Wait, we're starting that already?
Oh,
Nice.
God.
All right.
There it
I'll
is.
try to
I
not play
like-
that a lot this episode.
For the longest time, I forgot like
tempting.
what that was
Boba
from.
clips.
We would always say it. It was kind of like
Yeah.
we got it from you guys, and then we just started
I know.
saying
We were
it.
just everybody just yeah.
Boba.
Yeah. The first, so that's all from the post credit scene of Mando season 2
Mando
when
season
Boba
2.
and Fennec take the storm the castle, and then poor Bib is just sitting there.
Which it made its return in chapter 4. We'll get to that.
Which
Yeah,
might-
I
it's
remember
full
you guys-
circle. Full circle.
I remember you
It
guys
does.
loving it like on like your stream and just like making fun of like the fact it was just such like a funny voice and
Oh, good.
it's just perfect. It's just perfect.
It's really good.
Big,
Unfortunately,
big Fortuna fans here. So
When did we
Pops
like? When
up
did we
is
like
a good
start?
song.
Do you know when we started talking about it? I don't even remember.
I
Not
think it was
just, like,
instant. I
the
think it was an
moment.
Off the
instant
bat.
hit with us. Yeah.
Was it even before Levi was around?
yes. Or no,
we
I
didn't
don't
know you
think-
guys till
I
Levi
don't
was
remember.
around.
Yeah.
Before
Lots of
Levi
people
was
didn't.
born. Wow.
Before Levi was around.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he actually has enhanced aging. He's,
Wow.
Yep.
you know,
Speaking of Levi,
Yep.
so as you guys see, it's just half, 2/3 of all new nerds. Levi couldn't
Two-thirds.
make it tonight, but we have Johnny and Dylan. So thank you guys for being here, and
Thank
we're gonna
you.
talk about Boba Fett. So this is your spoiler
Yeah.
warning for anyone who's listening, watching. Spoiler warning for episodes 3 and 4.
Yep.
And a reminder to catch up.
Oh yeah,
All right.
gotta catch
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, come
So
on.
Remember
true.
the comic catch up or
thoughts?
whatever you
Yeah.
thing you guys
Canon
want
catch
to do?
up.
Or canon catch
Canon
up.
catch
yeah.
up. We won't talk about
We
that.
might bring it
yeah.
back, but it's hard. It's hard.
These guys
A
would eat
definite
catch up.
hiatus.
I'll
on
be
the-
honest,
on
I
the
Yeah,
thought
I
you
had
guys
fun doing
said
it. I had fun
I
doing
thought
it.
you said like can of ketchup, and I'm like, what are you doing
We
with
could do
that?
That's a good
that-
pun,
Good.
though.
Yeah, that's
Not
not
that
bad.
not that can't catch up exists, but
I'm
well,
pretty
it's
sure.
probably
Bite.
there.
Fred.
I feel like it does, and I don't
Definitely.
know.
You
that
can
for
anything.
sure.
Exists.
I feel like it does.
Yeah,
Canned
Definitely.
everything.
someone's done it.
Canned Melu runs.
That one is.
So-
Big
Should we-
Melu Runs episode.
Should we
Huge
dive
Melu
into the
Runs
episodes?
episode 3? Yes.
Or
it's
should
really
we
only one episode.
spin the wheel?
A lot of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
A lot of them.
It's
Up to you. Your
what-
call.
That's
I
our
feel like
guess.
we
Wheel?
don't. We
I
don't
guess
really.
You know,
small.
we do like wheels around our part.
We do like
so
wheels.
Do you like
do
wheels?
like wheels.
Alright, you want to spin the wheel? So
We'll spin the
ours
wheel.
will spin.
I'll spin it.
All right, let's spin the
Alright,
wheel.
Let's get this ball
let
rolling.
me
Get
get
this wheel
this.
rolling.
Let's get
Let's
this
get this
wheel
wheel
rolling. Yeah,
rolling.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Right.
Jeez, that one wrote itself.
I know.
I didn't
Oh,
even.
boy. All right. Spin the
This should be
wheel.
interesting.
If it shows up. There it is.
Okay.
So this is just for some random icebreaker type question.
Ooh, that's a good sound.
It's going a while. Excuse me.
That's-
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Is it gonna,
My
is
God,
it
is it
gonna slow
gonna
down?
stop?
Is it gonna slow down? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Black Krrsantan
What is
himself spun this
happening?
thing.
I think
Just
I'm
keep
sorry,
going.
this is a very long spin. It's taking its time. It's getting there.
All right.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a really good one.
This is a good question.
Favorite
I love the
Star Wars
music
games,
there.
dude.
I love the
All right,
little
okay.
theme there.
You
So,
guys.
the question
This is
is
hard.
your favorite
This is
Star Wars
very
costume.
hard.
So is this
Oh.
exclusive to like an alien, or is it like
No,
an
right?
outfit.
any outfit or
Okay.
whatever.
Oh,
It has
I
to
think
be
that-
clothes or armor. It can't be like
Oh,
the
got it,
look of
okay.
an alien. I think
Got it.
that is
Okay.
the
I thought you meant
So
parameters
like-
here.
it's clothing. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was
so
actually thinking
something-
this today. After I'll jump right into it. After watching that Boba Fett episode, I think that Fennec Shand has one of the coolest like character designs across Star Wars. So right now I'm gonna go with Fennec. I think her
Hey.
helmet is sweet, but also just like her
Yes.
suit itself, like the way it's like sewed. I don't know, just the pattern on it is super cool. The orange
There's-
as well.
The pistons
And then her
in
blaster
stomach.
complements it real well. Yeah, that too. She's just like such a cool character, and her design obviously helps that. So I'm
Her
I'm
sniper
gonna go
rifle
with Fennec.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
that's a great choice. That's a really great choice. There's so much detail in her costume, like alone, like between the different textures of fabrics, and then I love the use of orange. I feel like that's really
Yes.
an uncommon color for Star Wars
Definitely.
costuming.
Yeah.
So
Very much so.
really cool to see.
It shows in the Black Series too. I think I don't have the Black Series, but I think
want that
that's,
one
like,
so
One
bad.
of the better.
Yeah, I
prints.
got ordered. I got ordered.
This is-
So
we only have the
I'm a-
Funko so far, the
part,
one
yeah.
in which she's standing.
Oh, and the braiding too in her hair. It's so
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
hair.
Just,
Yeah.
I always forget about the braiding.
So much attention
There's-
to detail.
What
There
is
was, like,
that
a-
orange stuff in her hair?
It's just like string.
like- yeah.
in
Just
between.
put string in her
That's all
hair?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
Rep it.
behind the scene in one of the
Gotta
behind the
be
scenes
dripped
from Mando season 2. They were like, yeah, we didn't really know that they were going to be doing the series and that she was going to be back, and they were like, we would have picked something that wasn't as like difficult as a hairstyle
Yeah.
because like that is a lot of braiding
Well,
every
they can
single
change
day.
it
So
now. Now that we're all caught up with the flashbacks and everything, she can
Yeah.
change her
I
hair.
don't-
Maybe.
I haven't even noticed her hair as much in Book of Boba Fett.
it's
Is
a
it the
little bit
same?
less technical, but it is
Yeah.
the same idea. Not that I'm
Well-
looking that closely, but I am looking that closely because I love Fennec Shand and really want to cosplay her. But
It's a good choice.
Anyway.
Good choice.
I've seen some
Dylan.
cool cosplays too, and it's just as cool. So
Impressive.
They are
Yeah.
awesome.
people are rocking it already. I love it. I love it.
Johnny, what do you got?
So I have a generic answer, and I think I have a unique, somewhat of a unique answer. So I'll
Right,
do, I'll
generic
do both.
first.
A generic first. All right.
Generic
So Anakin's armor from the Clone Wars. That is
Okay.
like
Sweet.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite looks. Like
I love the
ever.
translations
I
into
love-
live action.
yes, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that, and like I hope we get it in Kenobi. So
Oh yeah.
we don't know for sure, but that would be very exciting.
That'd be really
Um,
cool.
Oh,
That would be a dream come true. When I was dressed up as Anakin in that costume like 3 years in a row for Halloween. Like it was like it's my jam. It's my jam. I
Early
love
cosplay.
Anakin.
That's good.
I love the Anyways, and then my unique answer. I love Dirge. I love Dirge's armor.
Dirge.
Dirge.
Now, can that
My-
count as a costume? We've never
Underrated
seen it in live
bounty.
action.
I would say
The
no,
armor.
but
The
like
armor,
yes.
right?
I'll allow it. I'll
I didn't
allow
know
it.
live
No?
action was a rule.
we not
here.
Well,
counting
if it's
I'm
a
counting it.
costume, yeah, I'll count it. But like, yeah, if it's
said
a
Well, I figured
armor,
costume,
right?
yeah, I
That's
did
a-
say armor, but I
it's a
mean, I didn't
on
think
a
anyone was gonna pick
technicality.
Dirge. But to be honest,
All right.
Dirge
Anyway.
counts.
Well,
Dirge
No,
counts.
Dirge counts.
Okay.
We can.
Dirge
I'll
counts.
take it.
I gave 2 answers, so hopefully that
all right.
amounts
I'll
to
take both.
something.
Jamie or Matt,
you.
what do you got?
Matt, you go. Unless you don't have one. You
Go,
want me to
you
go?
go,
I'll go.
yeah.
Okay. I feel like I've said this a million times before, but my favorite Star Wars costume is Enfys Nest. There's
Ooh, yeah.
so much going on with her. Again, it's very similar
Great
with
choice.
like the front like tabard pieces like Fennec's costume, but there's a lot going on overall with that. Like our original like color scheme for HoloNet Marauders actually lifted off of Enfys Nest's color scheme, and so like we still have like the lingering like tans and whatnots like everywhere and the little orange accents from on occasion. Another costume that uses orange, but like
There you
I love everything about her look and her design, and that is like my favorite costume in there. It wouldn't be a Star Wars costume if there wasn't something crazy in it, like a pair of like $400 boots. But like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, another one that I really want to make one day.
Orange in Star Wars
So-
is cool.
That's like, yeah,
is.
it's great.
You don't see it too much, so yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm trying to think of orange.
I guess
things.
X-wing pilot out.
Yeah.
pilot.
Yeah,
Oh
true.
yeah,
That
and
outfit's-
Ahsoka, just in general.
You're right.
She
yeah.
is
Very
orange.
orange.
Yep.
She is
She
orange. Yeah.
Good one.
I feel like I also gotta throw out there my favorite Rey costume is the Resistance one with the gray vest, which is a lot of people's like least favorite Rey costume. but
Nope,
that
that's
one's
my favorite too.
That one's my favorite one because
It's a clean cut
fact
look.
it is so
Yeah.
different than all of her other costumes.
Which
Yeah.
one is that? Which one did you
The
say?
gray vest, the
End
one
of
with the
Force
gray
Awakens.
vest when
End
she's
of
Oh,
Force
End of
Awakens,
Force
right?
Awakens.
yep,
Beginning
in
of Last
majority
Jedi.
of Octo. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my favorite.
that's probably my
Gray look.
favorite look for her too. Actually,
Poncho
A
race.
gray robes kind of guy. I like the gray robes.
Mm.
Gray
Fair.
robes are good too.
Poncho.
Matt, what do you got? I think I know what you're gonna say. Oddly enough.
I don't know. Maybe
I'll leave
I
it.
might steal yours.
Ooh.
You might.
I'm gonna say Sidon Ithano.
Okay, it was one of the
Yeah.
ones I had in my head. So yeah,
That's
you
a
can have
good
that.
That was one of the
I
ones I,
mean,
had too, but I knew it was like this was like the brand, so I didn't want to
I
call
had
it.
No
to.
dirt.
One of you were gonna. No, one of you were gonna say it. So
That's another really good one.
But though, like the material that his shirt is made out of, his torn
cool.
cape that like blows in the breeze, his
Mm.
boots, and of course the helmet design is just
Helmet.
unbelievable. And the fact that they made it like a
Yes.
Kalish warrior helmet is
Yeah.
even cooler.
Yeah.
Like there's
We need
just
that
so
really
much
backstory.
to him.
They really snapped on a background character. Like that's pretty crazy.
I
I
seriously-
thought it was sick.
It's awesome. He just looks so cool. And even though we've never seen him without his mask, we
Mhm.
see like what a Delphidian looks like. And
Yeah.
and that's also super cool.
Yeah,
Like just like
kind of like a
jet
Boba
black,
Fett situation, where
ridged
it's like you
skin.
didn't know what
Yeah.
he looked like before he took it off.
I always
so
like to
guess that's
compare him
pretty cool.
to Boba
Yeah.
Fett, and the
Mm.
author
Hey.
there, Landry Q. Walker, liked that idea. So.
Yeah, he's
Like-
quiet, tough guy.
15 years from now, we'll get the Sidon Ithano series.
Yeah,
So
Dude,
dude,
just-
book
you
Sidon
guys will be
Ithano
writing it.
series, which
Yeah.
he's trying to
we
become
would.
Pirate
I
King.
would. I'd give Landry a call right now and be like, "Hey, let's
That'd
do
be
this,"
dope.
and he'd probably be
What's
like,
something
"Yeah,
that starts
let's
with
do this."
S?
So-
The sheets of Sidon.
Script of
scourge.
The script of
The
Sidon.
sheets of.
The sheets.
where
Sheets.
Boba's trying to become a crime lord.
The Sidon sheets.
Sidon's
The
trying to
scroll,
become,
the scroll
like,
of Sidon.
Oh,
Scroll
the
of
scroll
Sidon.
of Sidon.
There we go.
Scroll of Sidon.
We just had to
Yeah.
we had to workshop
Okay.
it. There we go.
He's
I
trying to
also
become
made the magazine
the
of Max
pirates.
Rebo.
Oh,
That's another
Yeah,
one.
that's good.
the magazine of Max.
The
I'll have
pamphlet
to-
of Ponda Boba.
Man, now I'm
Okay,
thinking of
done,
that.
So I did have Sidon as one of my options, depending on what you guys chose. I'll give you two as well. Two just, I don't know if they're my favorite, but they're just iconic. I see them and I get nostalgic over them. One of them is Padme's dress in episode 1, the red one with
I'll
like the
give you
headress.
that.
The
I
one that's
see
stuck
that.
Yeah.
to the wall.
Favorite.
I see
That's a
that
good
like
one.
on Disney Plus as like the background, and I get the nostalgia of her just looking out the window.
Like the
It's a very nostalgic
that-
outfit.
yeah,
that's like the
and she-
trailer. You know, we were
Yeah.
we were
Yeah,
looking at that
the first
costume
shot.
from like day -1 on like the movie. Like we knew exactly going in. Like that was like the first thing I think I ever associated with the Phantom Menace.
And then my other choice, so I guess that's like kind of my iconic favorite one that I enjoy. But the other one is very boring, but it's one of my favorites. I gave it a nickname, and it's Janitor Luke. So Empire Strikes Back Luke. He wears it on Dagobah, but he wears it mostly in Cloud City when he fights
Oh,
Vader.
okay.
We talked
is one of
about
my
this
favorite-
last week.
That is my
entire
favorite
podcast
Luke
last
outfit.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
don't.
favorite
Dagobah
Luke
training
It's
outfit.
so simple. It's just
Yeah.
like a janitor
I got that right
jumpsuit.
behind me. I got that
Are you-
right
The
behind
So-
tank
Yeah.
top and the khaki
Yeah.
pants, and then
Oh, you talking about that or when he has like the full guy?
that, and then later
I'm talking
on,
about with
it's
the
It's
jumpsuit,
the same outfit.
not the
Yeah,
tank
the
top,
jumpsuit.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the jumpsuit's that's my favorite Luke outfit.
And it's
Two-piece
I'm glad you
jumpsuit.
guys
That's a
agree
good
because
choice.
like
Where does he get it?
it's so
Was
simple.
it just in
So
the X-wing?
I don't remember what it it's like something. It's some kind of like pilot.
I
Get
think
up
it's
or
just
like
like
some kind
surplus,
of
like
rebel,
pilot gear.
Pilot
Yeah, it's
If
like
you
a
wear it
rebel
under the
rebel
orange,
jumpsuit.
like-
Yeah, it's something like that.
So
I
he
can't
wears it
remember.
under the orange? Wow.
Well, I don't know. That's my
So you,
assumption.
are
I
you
think
telling
it's
me
just
that
his
every
extra
pilot
clothes.
is a janitor underneath?
Well, that orange
have
thing
a
is pretty
janitor.
baggy.
I
feel
forget
like
the
you would have to
canon
be wearing some
behind it,
clothes
but
in
there
there.
is-
Every pilot is
there
a
is
janitor.
something.
Levi would know
That's
Yes,
it.
somehow.
Levi would know.
Well, technically.
Probably.
Well, that was fun.
But
It
yes,
was a good
there's something to
selection
it.
Yeah.
across all.
Yeah.
We got the Clone Wars. We got to the old Clone Wars and comics with Dirge. We got
Dirge.
sequels,
We
prequels,
got originals.
What
we
can I
got
say? What can I
sequels.
Good job, everyone. We got
We
Solo.
covered all
All
bases.
around.
There's so many. We could have a whole podcast about that. So.
Honestly.
Another day.
I feel like I'm forgetting one. Like I
My
love.
favorite costume is Geode from the High Republic.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Mhm,
lump them in too. We got to get the High Republic. In there.
Yeah.
That'll be another
Yeah.
episode. But
Oh yeah.
with that being said, I guess we'll dive into Book of Boba Fett now. We'll dive into
do
Chapter
it.
3, The Streets of Mos Espa, which is just a cool name. And
cool.
you guys recently came over, actually, right? And I have a picture of it here for our
Right. I think
viewers.
so.
That-
Might have.
There we
There
go.
we go. That's all of us in our kitchen.
It could have been.
And
us.
this is important because we played the Phantom Menace video game where we explore
did.
Mos Espa. So I mean that pretty
Yeah.
much is
It was
the streets of
quite
Mos
an
Espa.
experience. A
Streets of
game
Mos
I
Espa.
did not even really know about nor know how detailed it was. I don't know.
See, this is one of the main reasons we started this podcast, was just to spread the word on the Phantom Menace.
on the
Video
game,
game.
on the
Yeah,
game, which is
video game.
understandable because
Pass
now
for T14 hyperdrive generator.
Dylan and Levi and I, we all love it. So
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I feel like in this house we don't necessarily have like, oh, when you come to our house you got to do this one thing, but it's becoming you have to play the Phantom Menace game with us. That's like
Honestly,
literally
the
what
Mos
it's
Espa
become.
level.
Every time
Sit
AJ and I have
down.
had company over, it's been all right, Phantom Menace game. Here we go.
yeah,
It's all we have to offer. So
And then if you don't like it, then you're never gonna talk
Good
to us
offering.
again. So
Then
like,
we
I
ask
guess
you to
the-
leave. We
Yeah,
kindly
yeah.
ask you to leave, and
Thank
we
you,
don't.
and thank you for
We
your
don't call
time.
you back.
So
How it
no,
is.
no callbacks. No
No
callbacks.
callbacks.
all
Thank
right.
you for your time.
Chapter
But
3
Boba
of
Fett.
Chapter 3 of
Boba
Boba.
Fett.
I love how I dove in and then I was like, Phantom Menace game. So
Yeah, what was it? You brought that on
How about,
yourself.
how about that?
Dylan or Johnny, what how'd you guys feel about Chapter 3 of Boba?
You want to start us off, Johnny?
Oh, put it on me. Okay, I gotta rewind a bit here.
Right.
It was overall, I would say it's definitely like my least favorite episode. But not saying it's a bad episode by any means. I do feel like it was definitely tonally different from what the rest of the show has been going for, because it was Robert's episode, and I mean I get he's a very you can tell when it's Robert Rodriguez.
He's
like
stylistic.
he's very stylistic, yeah. And I just feel like it was a little bit weird at times meshing with the rest of the show. But yeah, and I think the hate on the episode overall, I think, is kind of unwarranted, but that's just me. Yeah, not my favorite episode, but it was still a solid Boba episode.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much I get exactly what you mean. I didn't love it. I grew to like the mods. The mods were cool. I know the bikes looked out of place, and as soon as I
Not
saw
my
those bikes,
favorite concept.
no, and I mean,
No,
you know, it doesn't have to be
the mod
anyone's
guys.
favorite thing. It would make more sense on Coruscant or Nar Shaddaa. Or
Yeah, I
something.
felt very odd. That was another thing. I felt out of place. I wonder. I wonder if all of that was on Coruscant, if people would complain much less, and I feel like they would.
Yeah.
They
And my
definitely would.
Yeah.
my biggest thing with that is Jamie's heard me say this 100 times probably, but I mean, there's people in like the middle of Oklahoma or in the deserts of New Mexico or something, and they're acting like they live in LA or New York. So I mean, that's my real life
Pretend to be.
thinking with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Shots.
that's the biggest
All
thing
right.
is it make the person you want to be with where you are kind of thing. So like
No
you see like
offense to
people
anyone
rocking
in
like really cool
those
like alt
places.
styles, but they live in like a really like rural area, and so like I think
Right.
that's really like reflective of just like how we are like right now. And then like I know Matt's gonna dive into this a lot, but I dove into it a little bit as well regarding the mods in general. So like we'll get back to that after we do our little
Yeah.
what'd you
Yeah.
all like first, and then
Dylan,
we'll
what,
dive into it.
What was your takeaway from chapter
Yeah,
3?
I agree with Johnny for the most part. I would say after the episode, I was a little worried about the trajectory of the show, but I still think a lot of the hate was a little unwarranted. I mean, it's a fun episode, and I don't know, it did have a lot to offer. The mods weren't my favorite, but the show knows like it's a new concept for Tatooine itself. Like when we get into chapter 4, I'm sure we'll talk about that. So I don't know if it's necessarily out of place. It was just the bikes. It was just the bikes. I didn't like
Yeah.
the bikes.
It's just
but,
something new. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, it's still a decent episode. Definitely, probably my least favorite. But it was, I don't know, not bad, not great.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you?
So my favorite part of or I would say my overall impressions of the episode were good. I mean, it definitely was a setup episode, right? There are a lot
Yes.
of
Absolutely.
like shows that you watch where clearly like this episode was set aside just to like set up future things, and I think this episode definitely felt like that. You know, with the Rancor, with the delivery of the Rancor.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
oh my god, and the twins. I was so disappointed about
Yeah.
the twins. That's probably my least favorite part of the
Me
episode.
too.
When the twins show up and they're like,
See ya.
and then they just
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
They just turn around and leave. And
Something's
it's like,
fishy about that. I mean, I'm
Oh
not
my-
even making
Oh.
a fish
Yeah.
joke.
The whole
Oh.
Krrsantan in that scene. It was
and
weird.
then he frees
He runs
Krrsantan,
away.
and
Yeah.
Krrsantan's
Freeze
like,
just
See ya. Just gonna go
I'm
get
glad
some
he's
Just
runs
running
away.
away.
I'm glad he didn't end
speed
with
walks
that.
away. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
glad-
if that's how they sent him off, that would.
I'm glad
Not
he's
a fun
in
one.
chapter 4. Definitely alleviated my worries
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
about that
I
in
agree.
chapter 3.
Mine as well.
Um,
Yeah.
Other than that, no. I mean, I I liked the episode overall, but I would probably agree that it was my least favorite of the 4 we've seen so far. But
Yeah.
Right. But it's not
I mean,
saying much
still-
because they've
yeah.
all been so good. So.
exactly,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed all
Right.
4, so really
And-
it doesn't matter.
You do bring up a good point. I wonder if when the show is finished, I'll still have that, because it comes out weekly, so you have time to be like, oh, you know what, I have to wait a whole nother week, and I got that episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully, I'll look back and appreciate it more.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
be just a little blip on the radar at that point.
Yeah.
I think so.
For me, my favorite parts of this episode in general, well, not really favorite. I enjoyed the episode overall, but I feel like this episode really struggled in the sense of the pacing of it. It made really serious moments really fast, and then it cuts really quickly to things that are kind of funny and jump scary at the same
Yep.
time, and it's why are we
Yeah.
doing this? And the tone just changed so many times within this one, and it was also the shortest episode so far. So overall, I enjoyed the episode, and I really enjoyed the mods, and episode 4 has made it even better. But there was a lot of moments within the episode, it's just wait, we're going way too fast, or we're going way too slow, but it's going way too fast, and it was really weird pacing wise, and that just goes back to Rodriguez's style, which what can you do? And
Very much him. Yeah.
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 If you're a
Yeah.
big Spy Kids fan, maybe you'll like this episode.
hey,
A lot of it felt
there's
Spy
also
Kids vibes.
random
It
Spy
did-
Kids
it did.
references chock full of both of them, but I will say
Danny
my-
Trejo. I mean,
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
He's
in
a
episode
reference in and of
4,
himself.
using
Come on
using the cutter through the bars, that is literally something that she does in Spy Kids
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But my favorite part, probably episode 3, was just Danny Trejo showing up. I can't believe we had Machete in Star Wars.
What a
just,
better role
incredible.
too for him.
Just
Like
incredible.
I know.
Keeper.
Raincoat
that's sweet.
keeper. Come
It's
on.
perfect.
So good.
Danny Trejo and the Rancor showing up are definitely a big highlight, and that's going to be,
Yeah,
that's planting
absolutely.
a seed. That's going to be probably one of the best moments in the show. I'm assuming
Yeah.
he's eventually going to ride it.
We hope.
That's gonna be
yeah,
awesome.
I mean,
Can you
So-
imagine? Oh man,
That's
if
gonna be
they,
epic.
If they were like, "Oh, I want to ride this," and then he just doesn't.
with the theme playing.
Yeah,
But,
they wouldn't. Yeah, okay, whatever.
There's no way they wouldn't. There's no way.
they have to. The finale. It must be the finale.
To
we'll
go off
see, though.
Jamie's point about the pacing has been very weird. And I really liked how I complained about this a bit on HoloNet Marauders Live the other day, but the flashbacks they started out well. I like the idea of them. When he's in the back to tank, you get the flashbacks, but I think they kind of it got muddy as it went along, because the Tusken Raider camp destruction was kind of
Oh my
glossed
god, I
over.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was glossed
That's what
over
I
in the
mean.
middle of all this.
That's
So
what
it's
I
like,
mean.
should they?
You're right.
Star Wars is famous for doing stuff, going back, plugging stuff in. It's classic. But to do it in one series alone, it's kind of odd.
Right. We spent so much time with the
I know,
Tuskens, almost too much.
it
for
was
some
so built
people,
up.
and then all of a sudden they were just gone. So
Just killed
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
I think
Awesome.
that
Yeah.
Like so
Built
quickly.
up so much.
this was a tragedy due to the directing of the episode, I would say, because
Right.
we got so much that was really good from the first 2 episodes, and then we get it tossed in the third. It's all right, the Tuskens will be gone in the 3rd episode, but they probably didn't realize we need to show them not existing anymore, and it's just
Right.
Yeah.
so
And some of them are missing. It's very, very weird.
Yeah,
maybe
Right.
maybe
Which
something
is
will
probably by
happen.
design. I think that's by
Yeah.
design, especially that the one
warrior
that was
is
training
missing.
him. Yeah, the
He's
warrior.
missing.
Like
Yeah.
that's definitely intentional.
I think they
But-
imply that the kid is dead. With
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
stick. Yeah.
I
They
know
were
a lot
gonna
of
show
people
that.
are holding out for oh, maybe they have the warrior and the kid, and I'm like, I think the kid's dead.
Yeah,
And
I do
it's-
too.
Maybe.
I think the stick
You're right.
signified that.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that we say it happened so quick, but it's also apparently been 5 years already, 4 or 5
Yeah.
years. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I
Yeah,
know
wait,
that.
it has.
So-
That was the
Which you
thing I
find out in
realized
chapter
last
4.
week, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Huh,
The
that is
timeline gets very muddy, at least
It
with
does.
me.
interesting."
No, it definitely
At
does.
least.
Because it's so he's with the Tuskens.
For
So the way I see it is
for-
he was with the Tuskens, captured for a while. Then he gains
Yeah.
their respect, and then it's probably 3
You know
or
what's
4
something
years
else?
of him training as a Tusken.
Must be, right? Yeah.
Because then
You know what's weird
they
about
do
that?
the
I
train
thought
heist, and then they gain the confidence to start requesting payment from all these crimes for these crime syndicates, and that's when they get wiped out. So
yep.
they only see the train pass through twice, though. So how often is that train coming through?
probably a year. I mean,
Once a year?
I don't know.
I-
about once a
'Cause,
year
like,
annually.
I
Yeah,
thought of
don't
that,
know.
and I'm glad I just remembered it.
He's
If he couldn't have been a prisoner for that long because he never saw the train.
No.
And the train, unless the train comes
Well, it
once.
seemed
like-
like the
Very
train
regular
was like kind of
schedule.
off. Was the train coming through right through the camp, or was it?
I mean,
were
unless
they,
they
like,
move
off
the
near
camp
it.
around. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
a couple thoughts on
Essentially.
this. They definitely move their camp around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because, like,
they're
they're-
nomads. Yeah, they do
right,
say that.
they definitely move the camp around. And the other
That makes
thing
sense.
is, we don't really know what Bib's like leadership style was. It stunk. That's what it was, because we learned that in episode 4 that like no one really bought into whatever he was trying to do to lead everything. So like we don't know how often the Pikes were actually there operating, and so maybe that was like one of the first few times the Pikes actually were like, all right, Crate Dragon train coming through.
Right.
And so maybe that like truly was the first time.
Well, they did know about it because they called it
Right.
like the long speeder or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
had like a. It
Long
seems
speeder.
like
Like,
at least
Boba
it
had to
seems
be
like it had
introduced
been a
to the
reoccurring thing,
concept.
but
Yeah.
perhaps
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It's just
Yeah.
interesting.
It is.
Um,
It's like I said. It brings up a lot of questions about the timeline. But
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
you try to not get hung up on how long has it been, but like I'm a
It's like
little
in Bad
hung
Batch,
up on
where
it.
like, how
No,
many minutes has it been?
it's something. No, it was definitely like it hit me last week, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't feel right.
Like I feel
I
like
just
this
figured he'd
isn't-
been
And
riding the bantha
it still
for
doesn't
like
feel
a long
right
time.
to me. But
the Banthas
only-
just walk really slow.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean they are very
They
very.
are very-
slow.
Yeah.
They take a year to go across the desert.
Because, like,
take
I
a
think
year, yeah.
the biggest
to go
indicator for
one
everyone
place to the
is we have like he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit, and then
Right.
the next thing we know in episode 4 he's seeing the flares from Mando and Toro Caligan,
Yeah.
and it's just like, wait, so this is already happening. And so it's like it's been 4 years. And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
other thing in episode 4, sorry to jump ahead, AJ, but we're talking about the timeline.
Oh, we can get to
in
chapter
episode
4 now.
He finds Fennec, and what did they do for like a year? What did they do for like
I know
a
that
year?
too.
What are
Right.
they?
Yeah.
What are they doing? For
It takes them a year to find the
Still
armor.
Well,
think
so
Mando
it's
season
obvious-
between 1 and 2 is a year. I just want to throw that
At
out.
most.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At
well,
most.
so it's
At
Right,
most,
yes.
yeah.
clear that
Yes.
he at least stalks. I don't want to say stalk. He at least knows of Cobb Vanth, so perhaps they're like looking over him for a while.
I wish.
How do you
I
know
was,
he knows
that was
about
that was
it?
one bummer. I really wish we. I mean, maybe it can still happen. I don't think
Yeah.
so though. Now
don't
that
know.
we're out of the back to stuff,
But all,
I really would have liked to seen like something with Boba and Cobb. That would have been
Yeah.
interesting.
I always found it weird
We
he
love
didn't just
Cobb,
go
but
get his armor.
I don't know.
I don't think it would be.
That,
yeah,
difficult,
that's
but-
what I thought this show would answer.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Right.
guess it didn't.
Back in
think that
Boba
was one of the
season
big-
2, when everybody was asking like, "Where's Boba been?" and I always used to joke like, "Oh, he was searching for his armor and he finally found it and he was on his way to go pick it up and then he saw Mando like riding off with it and he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
really?"
You're like,
But I
I-
think that's
Literally
what happened.
It is.
I
It is
think
what
that's
happened.
actually what
Yeah.
happened.
That
My
seems-
brain for
that
some
seems to
reason
be.
thought that he found Fennec after that scene and then patched her up. Just because he's like alone in that scene and there's no, I guess his ship isn't with him, so it feels like he just like stumbled upon. So I don't know.
Unfortunately, that's not possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True, if that was
So-
like Fennec's in the desert.
Unless Fennec
Dead for
is
a year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lying,
for a
lying
year.
around for
The
a year.
Yeah,
time-
I know. That's why
the
I
time
don't
is
know
just
why.
madness.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's easy to
Yeah.
get mixed
It's
up.
mind melting.
Anyway,
Anyway.
the timeline is a bummer. But anyways,
So the Pikes are the big
Fishmen.
bad, but they're
Right.
not
I don't think they are.
because, Like,
No, no
the
way.
Hut-
Nobody
the Huts
thinks
are
they are.
scared of them.
there's always a bigger fish.
Oh.
I don't know.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Are we gonna start tossing our net for fish funds here
No,
tonight,
no,
guys?
we're not.
No.
No, we're not. Bring it back.
No,
Bring it back.
please.
We're gonna reel it back
Sorry.
in.
No, we're not.
Reel
We're
it back
gonna
in.
bring it back. I specifically did not say that.
She already said it.
All right, all right.
That was
I
bait.
won't. That is bait.
Come on now.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
But
Chapter
really,
4.
Yes.
anything else in 3 before we get going off of that?
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yes!
the Omar Monk.
Yes.
That was at the
Wow,
beginning,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
the
was
finally
very
got that.
beginning of episode 3.
The first
Oh,
thing
man.
we saw in the
Book of Boba Fett.
trailer, I am so happy.
Being all enlightened and such.
And it was all stop
that was-
motion, right?
That was great.
Being
Yeah.
all
Well,
Hopefully
like-
Boba's taking
I've
better
loved the-
care of them than
I
hope
love the
so.
little. I love the little establishing moments out inside the palace every time they cut to it. They
Yeah,
they
like
always
with
have
the-
something.
Yeah.
It's always so
The
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. One
frog,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the Krrsantan fight, and I've heard mixed opinions on this.
I love
And
the
from
fight
episode
as
three.
well.
Why?
I'm
I
iffy
love
on it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
cool.
Dylan's iffy on
What are
it.
your,
I
what are
like
your thoughts,
it.
Dylan?
So, all right, obviously you guys know Krrsantan better than I. So I can't speak to the character. It just felt like he wasn't too menacing, even though it was like a 7-on-1, so it's weird to say that. But like I feel like he hits a lot of people and then they stand up, like even down to the Gamorrean that he like bit and then like
He
punched in the
tackled one
face.
down a flight of stairs.
That's true.
That's not
Yeah.
that hard
True.
to do though. Like he didn't
You
like.
throw
so
your weight
funny.
around
I love
enough.
I could probably
See, I
tackle
think-
somebody down a flight
I
of stairs.
think that the fight in chapter 4 was much better than that fight, and I don't
Sure.
dislike that fight. I just feel like I wanted a little more like oomph from it. You know, I wanted
favorite
just a
thing-
little more violence.
That's fair.
100% slimy diaper Boba. Best Boba.
Slimy diaper Boba.
Put that in Battlefield.
Slimy diaper Boba. Best
I
costume in
saw
Star Wars.
I
take
saw
it
a
all
meme
back.
the other day. It was like a picture of Danny DeVito, I think from
Yeah, yeah,
from
Always
From Always
Sunny.
Sunny.
Yep, from Always
Yeah.
Sunny.
And
I'm
there's, like,
sure.
It looks like the same shot. It's
It
just
is.
Uh,
They're the
it
same
pretty much
character.
is.
Bald,
The-
no eyebrows, slimy.
The biggest like
slimy
gripe
underwear.
Yep.
Ugh, the biggest gripe with this scene is not even the fact
Love
that
it.
Boba is slimy and in his underwear. No, it's the fact that they have the tragedy
plus.
of the Tuskens right before, and then it's literally a fade to black, like jump scare of Krrsantan ripping
Yeah.
him out of
And
the
then
tank, and
Krrsantan,
it's
yeah.
like, holy
I love that.
smokes!
Yeah,
It was a
no,
cool
I
I
transition,
love that.
but it was
That made
it was
weird
I
timing.
remember in the reaction, I was
It-
like, "This is one of the worst days for Boba Fett because he just like had a traumatic like memory, and then a
Yeah.
giant Wookiee is over his face."
It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating with like being so invested in the Tusken story and trying to get like your moment of like, all right, we have to like allow to like grieve for it, and like we know that like Boba like during like that time had his time to like grieve for like the family of Tuskens that he like ended up having, and like as like the viewer though, we literally are just yanked out of it like really violently, and it's like
Literally.
Literally,
Right.
yes.
this is
Yeah.
a lot to process at once,
Literally.
and
But God,
It
I
was
mean,
just
that moment just makes him look so
very
scared.
jarring.
Like, even
Yeah.
before
I-
the
I
fight,
yeah.
love that moment.
like
That
the
is a
fact
good
that he
moment.
just gets
Yeah.
ripped out and you just see Krrsantan.
It's so good. It was
so
makes
good.
it. That's terrifying. Truly terrifying.
So good.
And
Yeah.
I
That
love
was a
that the
solid fight
gaffy
scene.
stick.
I
gets
loved
stuck in
it,
his
and
leg.
yeah.
It's just there, like the
I
whole
loved
fight
like
is
how he got
stuck in his
thrown
leg.
in the Rancor pit. I love
Yep.
that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
Fennec shot his hand. Love
Yeah,
it.
the little
Oh yeah, she threw like the.
She has so much in her
The
thing.
knife.
rifle,
No,
just
no,
the
no,
little
that's right.
knife.
She threw a
Yeah,
knife.
the little
yeah.
knife. Yeah.
That's
Which is
Yeah.
funny because his hands are metal. Something
Yes.
that
He
not
has
a lot
the-
of people. No, he
Just
literally
the knuckles.
has. No, he has metal hands. He has surgical
Huh?
implants. That was one of the things. Yeah, he elected to surgically implant himself with droid parts and metal parts to make him a better fighter. That's
So
something
he
that not
himself
lot
But
is
of
a
he's
people-
still
mod.
got.
He's the
still got
original
that
mod.
Yeah,
Wookiee-
it would still
I know,
hurt
wait.
though, right? Like it
Oh,
might
he's
make
still got
you.
the Wookiee hair. Do they just like cover it?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's like Luke Skywalker's hand. Like they.
Yeah, they get
it's,
Oh,
it's
right,
not
I
the
guess.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
like chop his
for-
hand off and then like
Yeah.
put a new hand on. It's more
Right.
like they opened up his hand, put the metal parts in,
Oh,
and
got
closed
it.
it up.
Well, it might
Alright.
still hurt. I mean,
While we're here airing our gripes, we'll do one more gripe. So the mods. I love the mods,
What do you mean?
and
The mods are great.
as Matt and I have like talked about in like the lives, the mods are a direct reference to the whole subculture of the mods in the '60s,
Mm-hmm.
mainly in like the UK of like literally like look up
Yeah.
anything from the '60s
Rebellious
and you'll see.
youths who
Right.
took very good
Well-
care of their bikes,
Yeah.
made them
Yes.
all
Like-
glossy and shiny, and put
Copy and
mirrors on
paste.
them.
That is what the bikes
Literally.
look like. That is
Absolutely.
exactly what
I
they look
get
like. Yeah.
the reference. I get the comparison.
Yeah.
For me, it just feels very out of place. Not
Yeah.
even out of place on the planet. I think it just. I think if it was again, like I said, a different setting, I think it would have been a little less complained about.
more digestible.
I
I
agree.
don't
It was pretty jarring. There were a
think
few
they
things in this
were-
episode that were just like, is this really the time and place for it? And I feel
Yeah.
like it's just
I
it's just
don't-
weird to see it on
Just
Tatooine.
not
I
what
love
comes
it
to
though.
mind when a Boba Fett show is pitched.
I don't
you
think
know?
they were that interesting of characters. I thought the design, some of them were just like way too. Again, it just felt very very out of place. And yeah, I mean, say what you will about the bikes. I think it's funny at this point with the Power Ranger bikes, whatever you want to call them. So. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
Squeezing art
the
mixers.
chase scene was
Yeah.
like something else. Like and
That was. I wish. Yeah, I mean, everyone says it, but I
We
mean,
almost
I
got
wish
done
we
with
got to see
episode
Boba
3 without
action
talking about
there.
the.
well, we had to. I
We
wanted
did.
well,
Chase.
the reason I brought it up though because I wanted to mention one other thing
Yeah.
is with the fact that they have like this group called the mods and they literally modify their bodies
Right.
with
That's
robotic
so
parts.
clever.
It
think.
is so clever. However, Lucasfilm really missed it with the casting for not casting actors who are disabled in the sense they're missing limbs or something like that because like they
Right.
could have so easily just found took
I love
the
that
extra
idea,
step,
yeah.
found actors who
Yeah.
already have that disability who are
Mhm.
the same, but like they're just missing an arm and like they could have so easily just did that and
I love
That
that.
would have been
idea.
really
didn't.
cool.
Right.
That
But
would've been awesome.
whatever. Hopefully we see like more from like the crew so far, because I do like the two main ones, but like I want to see more from
Yeah.
them, because
What I do like about
Yeah.
it is, I think Brent probably brought this up with you, or maybe not, because this episode, but it is actually an original concept from the Star Wars tabletop RPG, like the first one way back, and they were like frowned upon in society and stuff, and it kind of seems like they're going that way, because in Chapter 4 they're like, "Aren't you
Yeah.
a little here?" Like, it's clearly a new concept for Tatooine, and I think that's why they look so out of place. Still doesn't jive perfectly with me, but I don't know. I think
I
that's
kinda
a
like
cool
that.
little tidbit.
Yeah.
I mentioned
like
in our
that-
live stream that like the mod culture could arise from the fact that everything is like peaceful and stagnant in the New Republic. Like the New
Yeah,
Republic's
yeah.
come along, we're 5 years in, everybody's already bored. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
exactly.
No, I
20
think there's
something,
absolutely
30
a
years
place
of
for that.
war, and it's like
Yeah.
now we're starting to see all these like subcultures and different things in the New Republic kind of take shape out of like bored teenagers who have nothing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, Matt, you brought
But I
up
get what
as
you're
like
saying,
it was
Johnny.
the 90s.
It's the 90s.
It's like the 90s.
Yeah.
Everybody was so
Yeah.
angsty and bored in the 90s, and they were like,
Yeah.
well, we don't have a war, we don't have, nothing's going on, everything's peaceful and prosperous, and it's
Right.
like,
I like the
Well, they
weird.
kind of treat it like
foolish.
getting a tattoo. Like, it's
Yeah.
again in Chapter 4, it seems
The
like
parlor.
a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
Parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
the graffiti outside. and
I'll-
stuff
Literally
like
what
that.
it
I
is.
There's some things I can.
with that,
Let's
we'll
go to
get to
chapter
chapter
four.
4
I think
now.
the final
Gathering
world,
Storm.
the final word I want to say about episode 3, Melu runs, and that's all.
Hey.
That's all I did.
See, that
Huge
brought it
Bailey
all
Runs
back for me.
episode. It's all been about food this entire time.
Juicy Melu runs.
That's right. We love them.
But yeah,
So
with
thank
that, we can go on to chapter 4. Johnny, you seem like you have a lot of thoughts you want to get off your chest. What do you got?
Continuing what I've been saying, that scene was very odd from
It
the
was.
setting, the editing, the music. I didn't like any of it personally. We do love Fennec's Robo Tummy. We love that's a thing from all the way back to last year, but or 2 years, whatever. But it yeah. Episode 4 started off in not a good way. I didn't like how it started. I was disappointed that it seemed like they were doing something with the Camino every time he went back to the Bactapod. Like they seemed like they were like showing us more of this little Camino scene that they were pulling together, and they just didn't show anything. And the last time for the last episode, so that was weird to me, and I was like, that sucks because I love Camino so much.
Oh yeah.
And then then we go straight to that whole scene, and it was a weird vibe. But after that, the episode was great.
No, I agree. It did seem like they were building something towards Camino. Jamie and Matt or Dylan. I don't know if you.
It was so odd. They
Yeah.
just
Well,
kept
I
adding
can
shots every
agree.
time we went back. And
like the
then it
tattoo
just-
parlor
it
and
just
like
dropped.
the rave music, like the
I
EDM
liked
music.
it.
I
It was
loved
it was super funky.
yeah.
It
but,
was
like
interesting.
yeah.
Maybe I need to watch it
interesting.
again. I don't know, but just
No, on
it gave
rewatch,
me
I
an
liked it
icky
a lot.
feeling.
I definitely went in
I don't
with
know.
this like sort of distaste toward the mods as well, but I actually think that scene improves. I don't love the scene, but I think it makes the idea of the mods even better just through like the small little hints and the subtleties of their dialogue and stuff. I think that's some good
I like-
stuff.
I like the guy with the.
Maybe I'll
jacket
have
and
to
the
watch
tie.
it again. I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth personally, but it's just me, I guess.
No, I kind of felt that originally. It takes to getting used to.
Yeah.
My friend
I-
Rohan, friend of the show, Rohan, free intern Rohan, unpaid intern Rohan.
Hey,
Free
really-
intern.
intern.
He really
intern.
didn't.
Free
He
intern.
really,
That's what
You
we
just do
should be
free.
saying to you. Free
Unpaid.
intern.
he really didn't like the
Rohan.
music.
Hashtag Frio.
And the soundtrack came out on like iTunes and everything, right? So I think it was this morning I sent him that song. I was like, oh, go listen to this, and it's the song. So he was like, damn it. So, but Jamie, I know
That's so funny because like I loved the music immediately, and like I've said this a few times on the show before, like just like about popular music in Star Wars, that like we have like the classic like Cantina Band and whatnot, and then we recently have gotten like Mongolian throat singing from like the Who from like Fallen Order, and now we actually are getting more like hyper like club music with like everything that we're having in the mod parlor. And I loved this because like going into it, like this is like mentally what I've always thought that like Star Wars, like a subgenre of Star Wars popular music would be, which is exactly like what this is. And then they have the mod artist literally is musical artist Thundercat, which like I didn't know at the time, but like going back and like, looking
that's
into
kinda
it,
cool.
he helped like create that track that was like playing during the entire time, and it's just like this is so cool. And like
The surgeon.
yeah,
Ah.
he's credited as mod artist, which is like that's just fantastic.
That was cool.
It's funny, AJ, that you said that like Rohan didn't like the music, because right before we started recording this episode, my friend Taylor texted me and she's like, "Oh my god, that's Thundercat!" So like she knew who he was going into it. So we'll have
great.
like this like group of people who like do know who that is, and being able to bridge that of making
The
Star
funniest part
Wars
of that-
more similar to something that we like or we know in real life versus something that you would have no idea what it is, and you're like, nah, it's too much for me, I don't like it.
Right.
The funniest part of that, Rohan does know who Thundercat is, didn't recognize him, and still didn't like the music.
Yeah,
And
So
then we
all
have that
three.
side of it as well.
We have all
Yeah.
three sides.
Yeah.
that's
Right.
kind of what
That's
brought the
weird.
mods back for me, is like when it's obvious now that like this is a new culture, like a new cultural movement for Tatooine. Like it's just the young people, you know, like they're
Yeah.
getting these cool mods and stuff. So that I can wrap my head around. That I like.
Yeah.
It's funny also, you mentioned earlier, Johnny, that you're like, oh, we've always like liked like Fennec's like metal tummy. I hated it from the very beginning.
It's
I
very weird.
despised
I don't
it.
understand how she
ugh,
I love
eats,
it.
but I like. I
did
think
not
it's
like
cool.
it
Yeah.
at all.
She eats the
But,
chicken
like-
in that episode. How
How does
does
it work?
God.
I don't know how
She
it works.
eats the
I guess
There's a
she
lot.
has a
Oh no!
metal-
Oh no! There are so many
metal
questions
stomach.
to it, and like, how does it make sense? This, that, and the other thing. But still, love it.
Hey,
After
you know
seeing
what? We
it
saw
installed.
blue liquid and we saw red liquid. That's
So
all you
one's
need to
blood.
That's true.
What's the blue? I don't know.
We don't
Blue
know.
is
We don't know.
Anti-
It's a little bit of coolant,
That's right.
Gatorade?
but it's just blue Gatorade.
just in case it gets cold
Mhm.
on those Tatooine nights.
No,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
after seeing like the full installation though, like I appreciate it more because of that. I also really appreciate that they used the mod artist has like the B2 battle droid arm, and then it had the
Yes, that was
detachable
sweet.
sections to it, and it is scarily similar to the
Uh-oh.
concept art for Bad Batch Echo, which we have never actually seen the
Oh
extra
my
attachments for
God.
his arm
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
What
But
that
I
Hot
am-
Toys like
I
added
am
all these accessories that was like
Obsessed
all the
with
different
it. Like
hand
every
parts.
action figure has had this for him. Every action figure concept, and even like down to like the little like mission fleet figure, they have this
Yeah.
extra hand, and I'm like,
all these different attachments. He was supposed to be like the Inspector Gadget of the
Yeah.
Bad Batch, and we still haven't seen it.
I'm
Do you
looking
think
forward to that in
maybe
season
they-
2 of the Bad
Season 2's right
Batch
around
of the
the
first
corner.
I,
place.
Exactly.
it must
Yeah.
be season 2.
It's
It
season
must
2
be.
art. But
Crackpot
regardless,
theory. They took it out because of Boba Fett, and they want to make a connection. That's my crackpot theory.
Whoa.
I like it.
But I think
know
I think
what?
Bad Batch was
Whoa.
too far in advance, the planning and even the production of it before Book
Maybe
of Boba.
so.
that-
Maybe so.
probably. But I mean, like they've done that before, where they like release
Right.
like content, like in Mandalorian, they have Grogu force heal right before Rise of Skywalker, because heaven forbid
Yeah,
Rey
yeah,
was the first one to do it.
Right.
But don't get me started on that. Anyway, what else about this episode, guys?
Dylan, what
you think?
what else do you? What are your
going?
other
Yeah.
thoughts on this episode?
I think I can safely say it's my favorite episode of the show so far. As I said, Chapter 3 was I was worried about the future of the show. Now I've never been more excited for what's next. Especially, don't get me wrong, I liked the flashbacks, but I'm glad we're done with them because we can really push forward.
Yeah.
And I think it was just overall a solid episode. The flashback ran a little long, but it was good content. So I
like
think
half of the
that's
episode.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But then we move into the Black Krrsantan fight, which I thought was incredible. And then, it continues on. We get the table scene. And it's just, I thought it was all really well done. Definitely a little bit of a
You
contrast
glossed
from the
over
last
like
episode.
some of the
The
best
entire
moments.
episode.
Oh, well, I imagine we'll get into it as
No,
we
I
go
know.
into
Get into
more.
those,
But
but
I
yeah.
was just, putting some of my...
This
Yeah,
one-
there's this thing. There's
Or
this ship. I don't know what that's all about though. And then Sarlacc. I mean, but that's not.
Yeah, who
important.
knows? I
Let's
don't
talk
really
about
care
the
about
Black
that stuff,
Krrsantan
so-
fight.
Something
more.
like that.
Talk about a jump
Um,
scare. I hated that they went back to the Sarlacc, are
thing?
peering into it like a couple of
Oh.
dopes,
Oh,
and then
that
like
one.
we know something is going
Yeah.
to happen. We all know
I know.
something is going to jump
Yeah.
out, and then it
know.
But Boba
does.
thought he killed it,
It
right?
still gets
Boba
you.
must have thought he
Still
killed
gets
it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah. I
thought
thought
he
it-
killed
I
it
sure
too
thought it was
because it
dead.
looked dead when he climbed.
I
when he
did,
climbed
yeah.
out of it.
I don't know. The second we were going over it, I was like, "This thing's alive," and that beak. is
Yeah.
coming.
For some reason, I thought it was like, I know it's not funny, but I thought it was like the funniest thing. Just like as we see the slave one, just like start to like like
It did
go
look a little
over the
funny.
Sarlacc.
It was a dope
It was
shot.
just
I
like-
it was just
really,
like-
I
it was
really
like-
liked that
like-
shot.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
How was
I don't
it?
know. That was one of
Why
my.
was it like that?
What was his
I'm
plan?
like, and it's like Fennec and Boba just kind of like looking,
Yeah, and they're just like
They're
looking
looking
down.
for his
staring in
armor.
through the glass. It's like
Fennec's like
So
That was one of
I-
my.
it's
That was
so-
one of my
it's so
favorite shots
silly.
from the episode.
I
like
love
the-
how the way that entire thing is framed is just like Boba is like
I
so
know.
serious and Fennec is just like side eyeing him like what are you doing there?
Yeah.
What are
peeking
we
over.
doing? What are we doing,
funny.
Boba? Like
still,
oh my
I
god.
still don't know how the beak works. I'll complain about this every time. How does the beak work? The beak tucks
do you
into
mean?
the stomach,
Yeah,
and then
but
pops out the
It
It
stomach.
must, right?
So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beak
yeah.
swallows Boba. So does it have two stomachs?
it must have a really long neck. The stomach must go very deep,
Deep
and it
stomach.
retracts into the esophagus, like the throat.
I don't
know
know.
because
How does the beak
there's
work?
there's a model at Galaxy's Edge of this, right?
There's
Yeah,
a
That's
it's
the
a
model.
Dianoga.
It's not
Isn't
a
it?
No.
Somebody
cross
posted
section.
something the other day about it.
It's not
like
a
model.
cross section. It's a mini. It's like a baby Sarlacc in a pot, and the glass is like up against
Right.
the Sarlacc, but it's not cut in half or anything, so we don't get like a
Yeah, yeah.
diagram of what it looks like.
a good
And I'm-
You
question.
know, never in
bloody
my
good
life
question.
have I want. That's a bloody good question. Never in my life have I wanted to know the biology of a Sarlacc more than now, and to be honest,
Yeah.
it still isn't even that much because.
Too gross.
Sarlaccs are cool. They're cool.
To go off what
they?
Dylan said about,
Aren't
I really like the flashbacks in this episode. I know it's not really my turn to give my thoughts. You know what? It is.
I
my
think
turn.
we're
It's
past
my turn.
turns. It's your turn.
I really
yeah.
liked. I love like the idea of like buddy. I don't like saying like buddy cop, but the buddy cop of Boba and Fennec just going around. They have such a great chemistry. Both actors
Yeah.
are great. They just do a great job. They're funny while at the same time badass.
It's
It
no
was fun.
coincidence that their initials spell BFFs because Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Might be a coincidence.
I didn't know that.
Best friend
I didn't
forever.
realize that.
Print the t-shirts.
I was.
I'm gonna
I
go ahead and
can't
say
take
that
credit
is a
for that.
coincidence.
That's lovely. I love
Um,
that.
Good.
Yeah, I love how Boba rescues Fennec, and Fennec is just like, all right, yeah, I'll help you get your ship, and then my debt is paid, and then once he gets the ship, she's just like, yeah, okay, you're cool, I'll stick
Yeah.
around.
All right.
You know what else? I mean, what else?
You
Is
You got nothing else going on.
Hey,
I have a
look,
question
who
for
else
you
are you gonna
guys.
find that can find you firewood in the middle of a desert,
True.
Seriously.
food
That
in the middle
yeah,
of the desert?
that's a
I
feet.
mean,
Well,
that
he
is
was
a
gonna
feat.
drop her off somewhere, right?
That's
Probably take her
impressive.
to.
The melons.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
melons are hard to come by.
You're gonna
Boba's
crave
well
those
trained in
melons.
finding them.
Yeah.
Oh
takes a while
yeah,
to get used to
the,
him.
the
But
black
But
melons, right?
Black
Yeah.
melons.
I have a question for you
Right.
guys.
Yep.
Do he knows that she's Fennec, and she doesn't know he's Boba, but maybe she had never seen him. She knows him by name, of course, because
Right.
every bounty hunter knows
Right.
Boba Fett. I'd
well, he
imagine.
wears the helmet, so
Do we think they've met each other? Because I know when we've talked about Bad Batch, we're like, oh, Fennec and Boba are probably going to meet. Boba's going to be in this show.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Right.
I was under the
Maybe.
impression that they don't. I don't
Yeah, I
think
would
that
say
they know
no.
each other.
It seemed it seemed too much of like a who are you? But
I
again, like the
If she
I
doesn't,
don't
well, she's
know.
never seen him without his armor. Seeing
Yeah.
this, like,
yeah,
random,
I
like,
think the
bald
armor
man-
thing is what's.
But I
holding
think
back.
they'd
No,
be like, I don't know. I guess us as fans have this weird fantasy of every character reminiscing on their like original like run-in together.
Yeah.
It depends how well they were like, were to get how long they were together for before. Like I could see them maybe having a quick run-in, but it was nothing like they didn't exchange names or anything. I don't know. Who knows?
I would
I
say
don't think so.
no.
Yeah,
I would
don't
say
think so.
no.
I feel like
Yeah.
they may have done a job in the past, but Boba would have been armored the entire time, so she wouldn't have
Right.
known. And like I feel like also like in that moment, there was no way she could have like identified him because first of all, he didn't have his armor. Second of all, he is just a bald dude who
Yeah.
He's also
kind
Right.
of
no
looks like a
eyebrows.
clone.
He's
He
also-
would
Yeah.
know her though, right?
She
So it's kinda
definitely
like-
knows.
Right.
Like,
Well, they
what
knew
clothes
about each
look
other,
like.
but yeah.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
I know, but I feel like
Yeah.
Boba would have been like, oh, you remember? Yeah, I guess they don't need to reminisce. I don't
feel,
know.
Right.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
as
tough.
bounty hunters, it's like their duty to know all of the other bounty hunters, especially the good ones, because Boba is the
Exactly.
best, and Fennec is like the best at like what she does as well.
She's an assassin.
Never misses.
Right.
Never misses.
Yeah. So like I feel like they may have done a job in the past, but whatever.
Right.
I
mean,
find it very
personally
bizarre.
would love to see Boba in Bad Batch. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean, like,
I think that'll
there's,
happen.
There's
so.
no way he's not in the second season. Like I was betting on him being in the first season. Like there was so much kind of like just
He has
reference
to
to
be.
him.
He has
He
to be.
has to be. He has to be.
And I would think
has
Fennec
to
would
be.
come back too. I mean, unless they just
I
had
would
her in
hope so.
season 1 for fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
if
they
cross
definitely have
paths
to
or
bring
not.
her back. So there's
Possible.
potential for a meeting.
I think
but-
actually they
it
did
wouldn't
Fennec-
bother me. It wouldn't bother me if there was a meeting. That's
I
all.
think
Yeah.
they did Fennec
It would
season
work.
1 for the Cad
Yeah.
Bane connection. Actually, I don't know if they necessarily did that for her and Boba Fett, but I think
That's
they
true.
did that for
Ooh.
Cad Bane if he's coming. I assume he's
bold
coming. It's the Book of
predictions
Boba
here.
Oh,
Fett,
that's
so
an
like, come on.
interesting point.
But
Yeah,
like,
we
I
need
think
him.
that's why they put them together.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's a good point.
They
Yeah.
should, if they
Oh.
really wanted to build
Oh.
up Cad Bane.
Oh.
They wanted to build up Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett. They should have redone the
The scene.
the arc. Yeah, the scene, the gunfight. That's what they should have done more than anything
I
else.
mean, is there a chance that we get that flashback?
Oh, actually, I
I
think
don't
I think
know.
so.
I have another
I don't
crackpot
know.
theory about another
knows?
flashback where he gets messed
Just
up by
saying.
Cad Bane, has to go back to the Bacta tank, and that like his one last Bacta tank, and then he has that flashback. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
That'd be a lot
pretty
of
sweet.
That'd be
going back to
crazy.
the back to.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
to the
Boba Fett
Possible.
keep getting
Back to the Bacta.
dragged back to the Bacta.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
thing
that's
with
there-
this show. Anything's possible.
Is
at
there a
this point.
potential of a flashback for that?
I think so. I think that there's potential for at least the one more flashback, and it would be Camino based because they have been building that one
Camino,
scene
oops.
for the entire time. So I think that there is
It's
potential for
gotta
at
go
least
somewhere, right?
one
Like,
more.
I can't be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like that's like an odd thing to keep showing and have it not go anywhere.
right.
Yeah.
It might
I don't
just be
know.
that he's
No, I
remembering it. You know, his childhood and his father.
His
and
favorite
family,
memory is his father
his
like
father
leaving.
Leaving.
Abandoning him?
Well, not his favorite, but his
abandoning
favorite
him,
memory
but-
wasn't the Tuscans dying either. So
True, but like, yeah.
That
okay.
started off every single.
yeah,
like,
no, it's true.
trip
It's true.
down
And it
memory
got
lane.
longer and
It's-
longer.
it's-
each
They're all
time.
Yeah.
nightmares.
Right.
They're all, yeah, I
Nightmares.
guess
They're
so.
back.
I guess so.
I
But yeah,
think that-
they did a lot of work for the Camino stuff, so it's like that's all they used. We'll see.
I think that,
Yeah, I
it'll
don't
come
know.
back up somehow. One thing, in general though, I don't think that they will put in. Sorry to get off topic here, but I don't think that they'll put in the Bad Batch Boba versus Cad Bane because the show isn't about them. The show
No.
is about the Bad Batch. So like, I feel like if we're ever going to see that fight, it might be as a flashback or it'll get
I
like,
meant-
mentioned somehow.
I meant
So-
in this show.
In Boba.
I
That's what
think
I
that it
meant.
could. I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
could be a
okay.
flashback in this
okay.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
So like
yeah,
I wasn't
Right.
I
That's
wasn't
what I
clear earlier what the statement was. 'Cause
sorry.
I was like, wait a second, are we showing this in the Bad Batch? Because like
I
I don't think that's
I
gonna like
think they
happen
could
in
have.
that.
I think they could get away with it. I think Boba could.
They would have to
an arc where he's
recontextualize.
with the Bad Batch, and
Yeah,
you
we
know,
got
the
a
same
hell of
kind
a
of-
like episode where it was mainly.
I
just
think it could
Hera, so why
absolutely
can't
work,
we get
but
Boba?
Great episode.
I would like to see it more in this show than the Bad Batch.
I do too.
as
I think I
well.
would like to.
So-
I
Well, yeah,
agree.
I'd always like to see that. in
Does
live
Boba
action.
still have the dent, or did he fix that?
No, he has the
He still
death.
has the dent.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
right.
I could see
Yeah.
Cad
Pretty
showing
sure.
up and being like, "Oh, you still got that dent,
You
huh?"
still
And he's
got
like,
the dent.
"I'll never
Oh
forget.
God!
I'll never
Oh,
forget your
my
ugly
goodness.
mug."
Yeah,
And then he gives him another dent.
yeah.
Two dents.
Two dents.
just to for
Uh,
symmetry.
Like next week we're gonna have episode 5, and then like that whole
Next
week,
week's Mando.
and then next week's
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
Okay.
Whoa.
I still
Okay,
keep
okay.
thinking,
Matt,
So-
There's
Matt and
something I
JB,
wanted
give
to-
your overall
Oh, yeah.
thoughts on chapter 4.
Yeah,
Stuff
we
that
can
we
go
haven't
back.
touched
Sorry,
upon.
sorry.
I haven't done
I'm getting
overalls.
excited
Okay,
now.
wait. What have we
We
not
kind of
talked
have.
about?
We've talked about a lot, but
Yeah,
talked about
I
Fennec,
what
talked
am I
about Sarlacc.
thinking?
The Kinton
The
The
Striders are
kitchen
now
scene.
gone.
The kitchen
Oh,
scene.
kitchen
Yeah.
scene.
the rat catcher. The rat
rat
catcher is
catcher.
my
Oh,
new favorite.
oh my
Star
God.
Wars
There's
character.
so much.
Too
Okay,
much droid
so
violence. Too much
in the
droid violence.
in the flashback when they infiltrate
Hold
the
on.
palace.
That's
Oh
it.
my god.
Meeber Gascon's out of here. I'm finding a picture of him.
I loved this. So they go to infiltrate. First of all, we have 2 chef droids, and they are both
Yes.
incredible. One of them is
One is
The
cooking
General
a stew.
Grievous
Jedi
one?
arts.
One of them,
is
yeah,
cooking
has
the
all the
Jedi arts.
knives, and then one of them is cooking a stew that has like the one-eyed frog that like Grogu eats, which is just like fun to see that little connection. And then I love how they're just like, "Oh, what's that noise? Rats!" And then like, "I'll call the rat catcher." And then we're like, well, "That was weird." And then
Calls him quick.
they deal with
No.
them. And then
He
this
comes
little
in with the
droid.
little thing.
I loved the way that this was animated. I think part of it was practical as well, but like they had his like the ears
Yep.
just like go up and then also down, and they even had his mouth open and closed. Like I can't believe it.
There he
Oh,
is.
there he
no,
is.
Yeah.
no, it's too sad. It's too sad. I don't like
I
It's
that.
so
loved
sad.
it.
I love him.
I just love how they like still they incorporated this into like live action because we've seen it a handful of times in the Clone Wars, obviously, in which they're like cooking and doing little tasks like that. And this
then
guy
he
was so
switches
cute with
himself
his
off.
little net. He was just so scared.
Yeah,
he was
then
just
that
like,
really
no.
did it for me.
This is like the
Like-
first time we've seen like the kitchen in Jabba's palace, right? Because it's like, because
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
always been like, because I was thinking like as the earlier episodes were going on, I was like, because that's right, because the one scene was it episode
Episode 3 with all the
2?
food.
Yeah, all the food. Yes.
That was
Yeah.
And I was
episode
like,
3.
who's making that? Is there like
I
is
thought
it a
the same.
chef, or is it a robot or is it
So
like
we
what
have
is
2
it?
droid
Yeah.
chefs just doing
2
their
droid
job.
chefs.
One of them has their head cut off, but
I
They might
easily
have
put
glued
it
it back on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
They brought them over to the mods to fix them
You
up.
know the rat
There you
cats
go.
are still active.
They're no Strono cookie
Yeah.
tugs, but they'll do.
Oh my god.
Right, right,
Can you
right.
imagine if he was
And
there?
there are no decks. Although
There you
No Dex.
Oh, I got
Oh
Dex.
my god. Could
Although
you-
they have the same amount
that
of
would be
arms.
insane.
I want to see that guy versus Dex in like an Iron Chef. cook-off,
Yes.
So
Oh
Yes.
my god.
I want a Hell's Kitchen show with Dex.
Another Star Wars.
Yes.
Put that on
That's what I
Disney
want.
Plus.
Please.
oh yeah, please.
Dex's Kitchen.
Yes.
Lucasfilm, if
Dex's
you're
Diner.
listening.
And I know you are.
Give us more
I know you
Dex.
are.
We want him.
Dex's
Imagine if he
Kitchen.
pops up in Kenobi.
Please.
Oh my god.
Eesh.
Buddy.
We need Dex and Kenobi.
That
could-
could be a cry moment.
be a
that could be a
flashback.
crying moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll cry like a baby.
I'll cry like a baby to that.
That's the reunion I want. You know,
Yes.
Anakin and Obi-Wan, sure.
Clone
That's fine.
Wars.
It's good, but
Obi-Wan and Dex.
this-
Dexter
Darth
damn-
Vader and Obi-Wan.
it is a damn
about it.
shame Dex was never in Clone Wars. Like, how did
I
they not
know.
include him?
It is-
That's
I know.
such a Clone Wars character.
They
That's
already
like,
made-
he
and
could have an
wasn't,
arc.
He wasn't in any of the deleted or kind of abandoned
No.
season
Not that I
stuff
know
too,
of,
right?
no.
I don't
No.
believe so.
Not that I know of either. So
They already
That'd be
had
such a cool way to, like,
like
Start an episode.
person.
Oh, yeah,
they
that-
already had like
that
a
would've
model and everything.
That would have
They
confused
never
people. There can only
visited
be
the diner?
one in there because if people saw there was another Basilisk, they would have been like,
Is that Pong
excuse
Krell running
me,
a
is that
diner?"
Pong Krell? We can't do this. So
Not
the people would get
Ponkrell.
really
Clearly
confused.
not Ponkrell.
they never visited the diner, right? yeah,
No.
I guess
No, isn't that crazy? I'm
They only
sad
visit
now.
the
Obi-Wan's
diner when
hidden
they're at
spot.
Beaver Gascon.
Yeah.
It is very. I guess so. That is very interesting, actually.
So
Is
boy.
there anything
Anyway.
else in this episode we didn't cover? Matt, I know you do.
Mando.
You want to take it away with Mando, Matt?
I mean, I didn't realize. I don't know why I didn't realize this because it's so obvious to everybody else, I guess, except me. But I never realized how unbelievably iconic the character of Din Djarin is. For them to play just one single note of music and have
Yeah.
everybody like leap off their
Yeah.
seats and go, "Holy crap, he's coming!" Like
It's
it's
funny.
you always figured Mando was going to be in Book of Boba Fett at some point, but just the one note and the way they're just like building him up and like teasing him, like he's become like one of the most iconic Star Wars characters, and it's just
Yeah.
like holy crap.
I don't even know how they did it, but it worked. It
It's
happened.
impre- it's
So he's kind of the
incredible.
representation of this connective tissue between these TV shows. Like I think people call it the Mandoverse and Filoniverse, whatever they end up calling it. But I
Yeah.
think that's just how these shows are going to operate. Probably not Kenobi because that's a whole different time. But just like these
Kenobi
shows that-
Andor will be its own thing. And
Yeah,
then this
that'd be
stuff will
great.
be its own
But
thing.
these shows that take place in their own
so.
time are gonna. I think they're just proving to us that they're gonna have a bunch of interconnectivity between them, and it's gonna be great.
I'm
And
so
we are
excited.
sort of starved for Mando. I mean,
Yeah.
season one, I enjoyed. I was still on the sequel train, and that
I'm with
kind of
you,
overlapped.
AJ.
And
I
then season
enjoyed season
two
one, but it was like, eh.
blew my socks off. It's one of my favorite things in Star Wars. Season 2 was a blast. I love staying up late watching some of them and just that whole ride. And it's this past fall, I was like sad that we didn't have Mando to watch. October, November when it usually starts.
Well, now you do.
Yeah, it's
'Cause he's
been a
coming.
long
Welcome
wait.
back.
Somebody's coming. Whoa.
I can't wait. I'm so
Uh,
excited. I can't wait.
But what do you guys think? What do you all new nerds think is going to happen with Mando? I guess we start with Johnny.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I think I'm having issues over here. Yeah, I can. Everybody.
Ooh, what
okay.
else is new?
Okay.
We know you're
Oh,
having
yeah.
issues, but can you answer the question?
Yeah.
I can answer the question. Well, I mean, I am certainly excited because there is this rumor. I don't know if we want to dive into a rumor for a second here, if that's okay.
We
Can
can
I-
give the
Borderline
audience,
leak? Do it.
we can
Alright.
give the audience a warning.
We'll give a
Try to
warning.
keep it a little as thick as possible.
Spoiler alert,
Just rumor.
rumor
Okay.
alert.
Rumor.
Okay.
We'll keep that.
I think this
There's
is
a
one
rumor
I've-
about
wouldn't
there's a
mention the
rumor about
specifics.
the model of his ship, and it's
Yeah.
very exciting if it's true.
Yes.
very
Very
very,
exciting, and-
nostalgic for me.
Very
I'll tell you.
nostalgic for I
Yep.
think everybody here, and it would
Yep.
be especially if it's chromed out. It would
This
be it
time-
would be insane.
next week.
We'll be able to talk about it.
and remember, we're gonna see the dark saber again. He has the dark saber right
Yeah.
now. Like we're gonna
I'm-
see some.
I am
We're gonna
so
see some stuff.
hoping for the dark saber just to keep the streak alive that every live action Star Wars anything has had at least a lightsaber ignite on screen.
Mhm.
Don't break
Yeah.
the cycle.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yes.
True.
I'm with you.
True.
Mhm.
Let's see if Andor will do that. I don't know. That's the one.
They
That's
could.
the iffy one.
It's gotta have-
Vader shows up, Inquisitor.
I think
No,
Andor
it's gotta
will
be-
have.
Yeah.
Andor will have
Andor is a
plenty.
long show. I think it's bound to have something.
They have like 12 episodes. They're just
Yeah,
sitting
they
on
have-
them. Like a bunch
Guys,
of
what if
greedy-
Kanan shows up in Andor?
Good. Well, Hera definitely will, I think.
Don't do that.
Dude, the
Don't give
rebels
me
I just
hope.
like
in there.
I need
Did
like
we all
20.
freeze?
No,
They could.
we're all just trying to
think Jamie
process
just
that
did.
thought.
I know.
It's like
No,
There's
Jamie,
so much going
Jamie, you
on.
legitimately froze.
Yeah,
and
you
you
did.
were like,
That's okay.
and then you were gone.
Now you're
Hello?
good.
well, my feelings were the same as the frozen image.
Yes,
Anyway,
that's a thought I haven't
Yeah.
even put in my head,
I
and
haven't
that's
thought of that
very
either.
exciting to me.
I've thought about Hera and the Ghost Crew, and
That is
obviously
very
Kanan's part
exciting
of
because
that.
I mean, like,
it's
they
the
must
before.
have. I know they must have. They must be in it at some capacity.
It's got to be. They're
We,
gonna have
we've
to
seen
reference
seen them in Rogue One. Like
Holy smokes!
it's the most like connected thing to Rebels. I think it is that time period, obviously, and that kind of those characters. So.
Just hopping back on the Mando.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, get us
Take us
off the
back.
Alright.
Kanan
Well,
Jarrus
I'm-
Jedi Knight sad train, please.
Yes.
I'm just wondering how that's going to go down because they kind of implied that they were going to pay him, but I don't. Would Din want payment or would he just help
Nah.
him out? Like I
Yeah.
wonder what they're like.
I think that, like,
I
that's,
think
like,
he
so
would
funny.
pay him. I think.
I feel like he'd be
I
like-
think he will.
They keep owing each other favors. They're like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it'll be a favor train.
It's
Yeah.
more like it's a favorite train.
Yeah.
It's a
I
favor
agree.
train.
That's
I,
good.
I feel like he won't like want just like straight up monetary like compensation for this. He'll probably just be
Right.
like, yeah, I'll do this for
Monetary
you, and then
compensation.
Boba will be like, well, hey, take your pick, and then like we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Get some
Well, I'm
initials.
also wondering, did Fennec must have told Boba about Luke Skywalker showing up, right? Because that's like probably the craziest thing that's ever
Yeah.
happened there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
By
mean,
the way, I saw
so,
Jedi.
Wait, yeah.
Like,
does Boba know?
Yeah, right. Like, he must.
That yeah.
How did
Yeah,
I
I
go with the
hope-
baby? Oh, so Luke Skywalker came and took it.
So not well. Well, Luke
What if,
Skywalker,
like-
you know the guy.
I
What if,
wonder if
like-
they maybe we'll have this conversation in this episode.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but then
that'd
maybe
be
like,
amazing.
but then
don't
but then that would imply that Fennec just never brought it up. I don't know.
I guess
True.
Boba just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever.
Boba would be like,
Yeah.
you know,
That too,
I saw
but
the
I don't know.
strangest thing as I was leaving that Star Destroyer, guys. I saw an X-wing go by, and I haven't seen one of those in a bit. I mean, I know that they still use them, but this one looked really familiar.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a
And
bit.
I haven't seen that specific one. But oh my god, what if like Han shows up like towards the end of the show, and Boba and him just have like the staring contest, just like
Yeah.
That
What
was
if
one
Han
of the.
shows up and he's like, Boba?
Are there any more crazy people? Are there any more crazy people we'll see show up?
Yeah, I'm predicting right now. I think it's
Absolutely.
going to be Han, Baby Ben, Sidon Ithano, all the Knights of Ren.
Hey, that's my. You're going off my internet YouTube prediction. My internet prediction. My YouTube.
my
video
internet
prediction.
prediction. No,
The internet.
I gotta type this on the internet.
You know who might show up?
Yeah.
Kira is rumored. You know, we might think Kira, but there might be another mastermind afoot.
My boy.
Elliot.
Elliot's
Dripped
joined
out-
Crimson Dawn.
Dripped
Oh,
out with the
no.
Crimson Dong.
man.
Ooh, what'd you
my
say?
Elliot, there's no way out of that
gosh.
life. What have you
How
done?
could I have been so blind?
He,
Maybe he'll reopen.
Wow.
next
Do
year.
you guys
No.
think that this will be the twist?
I
Crimson
don't
Dawn?
think so.
I don't think
But Elliot?
I can't.
Jordan Fern-
That would
The
be
Elliot
quite the
twist,
twist
yes.
if it was Elliot. I'll be.
I
It was
can't think
Elliot
of
there.
anything else.
It'd
I
be
don't
bold.
think it's.
Subverting
I-
expectations.
But it's the Pikes, dude.
Okay.
It's the Pikes.
It's
like
it's not the
I don't
Pikes.
know.
I don't think it's the Pikes. I
I
think,
think it's
they're
the Pikes
they're
and
not
Johnny.
they're not that big of
The
a.
Pikes are boring.
Nope, never
I
mind. I'm
don't-
not with Johnny.
I don't want to say it this way, but I feel like Fennec is not gonna be on his side by the end of the show.
No way.
I don't
Yeah.
think it. I don't
They're
want it to
BFFs.
happen.
We just went over this.
I
We
did.
I would
just
have thought
I
that.
thought
she's-
that.
She's
No,
been
I
giving
thought
him some
that
like
too.
side eye like
That would
layers,
be
and
a-
then
Yeah,
also
about his
it,
decision making.
they straight up like have said like I'm not like they're not
They
like
disagree.
They don't see eye to
disagree.
eye.
I think.
yeah.
And I would have thought that. I
So-
actually had that theory at the beginning of the show. I think
Yeah,
now
we
we're
had-
a little too deep. But hey, these could be these
I don't
final
know.
three episodes could be hour long and give us a lot of
Right.
content. So
Yeah.
Because like from here they're gonna build up their muscle, so they're gonna hire out people that they know from the past. So that includes Din and possibly other people as well. We don't know
Bo-Katan,
who else
maybe?
they're
That'd
gonna
be
get.
pretty
I don't
Dengar.
think so.
I
don't
don't
think
think
so
so.
either.
I
Yeah,
do. I'm
Bo-Katan.
pretty
She has her own
positive
mission.
about Migs. I'm pretty positive.
Oh my god, right?
yeah, that'd be
Ooh.
sweet.
You think so?
I'm
Wow.
Why
pretty
not,
positive.
Because then they'll be like, "Oh, Din, is there
Coven.
anybody that you trust?"
Yeah,
I hope.
want to see
I-
Boss.
I-
Cobb Vanth, I would like
Ooh.
to have Cobb Vanth, but I don't think so.
Why
It's
not?
just-
He's
I
on
love-
planet.
I like-
It's
I
weird
mean,
to
if
me to have
he's-
this
Jane
guy
could be like,
like-
"Hey, let's go pick up Cobb. Why not?"
Because
yeah, he's nearby. He's
do
so
we,
close.
Yeah.
is next
Right down
episode
the
the
street.
recruitment episode? Is
It
this what
must
we're
be.
doing?
I hope
I
so.
think
So
so.
are we leaving
We're
the
just
planet?
picking up the people in the school bus, like
Getting
I'd
the
love
band
that.
back together.
getting the band back
Yeah.
together. Type
Get in,
thing. It's like-
loser. We're going to liberate the crime world.
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, like, they have to bring at least a couple of the ESB crew. Like, there must be like Bosk at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
At
They were
least.
talking to what's his name, Simon Pegg, about playing Dengar.
Ooh.
He said maybe
Yeah.
next season. So I don't
Yeah,
know if we're gonna
yeah.
really see Dengar. I'd love to see Dengar
would
played
love
by
to see
Simon
that.
Pegg,
Same.
though.
They've
How
done
cool would
that.
that be?
They've done a lot of work with the Trandoshan, so Bosk would make sense.
I know,
They've done all
yeah.
the eye work.
It
and-
must be. It has to.
Bosk
like-
and Boba have an interesting relationship too. They
That's
don't
true.
like,
Last
necessarily
time-
hate each other.
Last
Yeah.
time
But-
Bosk was with Boba cut both of his legs off and left him tied to a rock. In
So
the
I've
middle
seen, yeah.
of the middle in the cold.
Oh,
It's a
And
love-hate
Bosk
I didn't
still,
know that.
Yeah,
Bosk
didn't know
still was pretty
Boba
badass.
did a lot to Bosk. Blew his legs off and tied him to a rock.
So yeah, I think next
That would
episode is gonna be
suck.
the kind of the
Mhm.
pick everybody up episode. I do
Yeah.
think Miggs is a solid pick. Obviously, Din.
I do
Uh,
hope we
with
leave
Cobb
planet. I hope he doesn't just
Oh,
FaceTime
no,
him
no,
and
no,
just
no.
be like, "Hey, you want to come?"
We
help
have
me
to
out?"
leave planet. We have to. Leave
Yeah,
planet.
I'm ready
Well,
to.
Finally, please.
Din doesn't have a
it
ship,
needs-
so like he can't like.
Allegedly.
Go
Here's the
himself.
thing. It depends.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder
Yeah.
what Din's
Yeah.
up to. Din must,
yeah, it's not a ship.
Din must be having a little mission. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
gonna be
doing
really
some
cool to
bounty
check
hunting.
in on him too.
Yeah,
He's
It's gonna
definitely.
be
just,
really
like,
cool. I'm very
he's just
excited to see
crying.
what's
The
Literally-
happening.
check-in on
Well, it
Din.
literally
Yeah.
depends how
Like-
much time has passed.
Grogu. Yeah.
He's sitting in his chair. Bo-Katan is like right behind him with a dagger, and then he gets the call, and he's like, "Hello," and she's like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
backs away.
And he's crying,
I like
looking
that.
at the little knob on his.
There's
Yeah, he's, like, wiping
there's
his
no
eyes.
way he would
Yeah.
be on. There's no way he would be on Mandalore.
No.
I doubt it. They're saving
No.
it.
You're
Mandalore's.
building
Not yet.
Mandalore.
Did
Mandalore's
they
going to
turn that
be
planet
the
to
season
glass?
3 conflict. I mean,
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
liberating
I still
the
think
villain.
he could just
That's
be
the end game.
chilling on Navarro with Grief Karga. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
That's.
Yeah.
I think
At
that's
the
Something
school,
that
eating the
seems
blue
right. That
cookies.
seems right.
Yeah.
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 Grogu loved these cookies.
Oh yeah, he
Carradine's
stares
there.
the blue cookie, starts crying.
He's
Yeah.
crying.
Just eating his feelings. Eating his feelings. Yeah.
Cara
He's
Dune
like
is a
20
different actress.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but then
And-
so I'm just like, obviously this is just a pure prediction, but I'm just trying to like think about like how, what's the how do we transfer from? I mean, again, this we don't have any confirmation, but like it adds it's too good. It's almost too good to be true, but I think it's true. Cad Bane episode 6. Like, how do we get there?
Filoni, yeah.
Where
Yeah,
do
this
we
was
where
Filoni
how do we
episode.
get there? Because
We're
is
going to
it
build up a crew
like
in
the Pikes
episode
hiring
5,
him, or like
and
right?
then the Pikes are going to have their own crew to go up against.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
All out
part of
battle.
that crew or leading that crew will be Cad Bane or some sort
Could
of
be.
thing.
I still
If that's
just
what
don't-
they're going to do.
Guys, there's
be,
no. We're 4 episodes in. It's gonna be 5, 6, and
Mhm.
7. We still don't have a villain. We don't have a main like villain.
I mean, like
It's
like
the
we
Pikes?
do, but
Question
like
mark?
But there's no like
Criminal-
main Pike that we know of.
Yeah.
The,
It's
the
not the
concept
twins
of
anymore.
criminal
They went back
overlords,
to.
that's the villain. It's a concept.
sure.
I kind of hope
Yeah.
the twins are still involved. Crimson Dawn, someone.
I
Just give me
know. I'm mad.
Prince
at
Shizor.
the
Give me
twins.
I mean,
somebody.
Boba says himself. He's like, I don't trust them. So maybe that's a
Yeah.
little key into
Yeah.
that something's gonna happen.
It'd be weird if they were
but-
just gone.
Well, it
No,
seems like we get that a lot.
It's
Where
still,
Boba's
it's
just
still
like, I
tough
don't
for me
trust them.
to say that it's the Pikes. This is all the
Same.
Pikes. I mean, because
Yeah.
even in episode 3, didn't they tease it like it's not? It's probably not the like these.
Well, they
the
said
line,
I think
they
Boba
said
says,
that
like, I can't
remember.
the riders, the
Oh, the Kintum Striders.
Pinton Striders, they couldn't. They weren't the
Striders.
ones who did the Tuscan destruction.
Right.
Well, it
They,
wasn't
alleged,
that.
they
Doesn't seem
allegedly
like-
did it.
Yeah,
I think the only thing
Right.
toward that was Fennec questioning it, right? She was like,
Yeah.
"No way."
She's like,
And there's-
they're a bunch of
and-
buffoons.
But their logo is there. But we also know a bunch of Nictos worked with Bib, like a lot of them.
there's no way
Mhm.
that
So
they
there,
bring
there must
up,
be some connection.
they bring
Yeah.
up like questioning the Kinton Striders,
I agree,
destroying
I
the
agree.
Tuscans.
And I
if
had that
that's
point in
not
the
going to
reaction.
like pay off later. I think.
Yeah.
Just because somebody sprayed, just because Cad Bane showed up, killed all these Tuscans, and spray painted the Kinton Strider logo, and then
It's a,
rode
yeah.
off,
Yeah,
doesn't mean that
framed
it was
him.
them. I
Who
honestly
knows?
think that could be the reveal. I don't know.
It
We'll
could
see.
go
pretty sweet.
anyway, which is
Oh,
fun
that'd be a little.
and also
I feel like it'd be
frustrating.
weird if he's the one that spray painted it. I don't know.
Mm.
Who knows?
I'd love to see.
Oh,
Cad
I didn't
Bane's
bring this up.
spray painting
Episode
things.
4. I think my favorite moment of the entire show is the slave one coming in on the and all
Of course.
the guys in the
Oh, yeah.
Blowing them away.
Blast
That
them
was
away.
awesome.
Blowing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I didn't bring this
So-
up, but I appreciated that they addressed sort of people's, or they didn't address people's concerns because they didn't know, but Boba Fett's switch from being like the perceived quiet Boba to like the I want to start a family, I want to do a little better Boba. Like they do address
wanna
that. It's
start a
very
family.
obvious.
Oh,
Yeah.
You make it
It's very-
sound
Start a
domestic.
crime
You know,
family.
he's not that caring, but it's obvious the show realizes that there's a flip with this character, and I think
Yeah.
people were concerned that they didn't. And
Yeah.
now
yeah,
you
people
know,
No, you're
people
that's
have been
absolutely correct.
people have been like, oh, this doesn't feel like Boba. And I'm
Beta
like,
Fett.
dude, if you if you
Yeah.
look at Clone Wars, like I think it's very much you can see a clear arc. It does not bother me like other people. I
all
think
about-
there
No, me
is a
neither.
clear
It's all
But-
about the
but
story
that-
there's a
arc.
clear growth. There's a
Right.
clear
And we're
period
seeing
of growth.
we're seeing past his prime Boba,
Yeah.
kind of similar to how we saw past his prime Luke in Last Jedi, and
Yeah.
people were divisive on that as well. So
Right.
we don't get the middle badass part of those arcs really.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
Well,
just how
and it's
right
clear
now.
why he makes a very clear statement why he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore, and it makes
Yeah,
sense. It makes sense. He
exactly.
almost died doing it, and he's like, you know what? I can make more money just being the head honcho. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I like it a lot. And I,
I,
think the
uh,
difference between Luke Skywalker and Boba is we do get to see, Boba with the Tuskens and why he became
Right.
this way.
Yeah, very
So I
true.
think that's pretty sweet.
And yeah, I mean, so overall the show so far, like, definitely, and this isn't. I'm not, whatever, but I don't think this has been as hype of a show as like Mando has been.
How can?
But now I think these
Okay.
last 3 episodes are going to be like that.
Yeah,
Gonna be
I think
bangers,
they're gonna. I
you know?
think
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
gonna be.
so,
I think.
you're right.
I think we're now at a point where it's like, okay, this is gonna be insane.
Yeah,
I think
so
Robert
too.
I hope-
Rodriguez might
I hope. I don't
overhype it
wanna-
a bit, but also he knows the
Yeah.
final product, so we'll see.
So there is that. Yeah.
Exactly.
So and
So-
but we've known that these last 3 episodes are like, these are the ones that are going to be crazy. So
Do we know
we'll see.
we know directors for 2 of them? Do we know the director
2.
for the last? Because it's
No.
Bryce
I think
Dallas
it's
Howard,
Robert
Dave
Rodriguez, isn't
Filoni, and
Yeah.
I think it's Rodriguez
Levi
again,
said it was
or
Robert
Favreau.
Rodriguez. but-
It's gotta
Rodriguez
be-
or Favreau?
okay
It's
for
gotta be
the
Robert.
finale.
Rodriguez.
Cool.
I
Cool.
think this is his.
There was
baby.
something I thought I saw about him like not being able to do it because there was some time issue, some scheduling issue. So John stepped in, but I don't know.
Oh, I do remember
Possible.
that actually. Huh.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see.
Guys.
know.
This has been a very long episode, and
A lot to cover,
we're,
lots
we're
to
only
cover.
halfway through
Lots
the
to cover.
season, so
know.
a lot to talk
Episodes are
about.
Way too long.
It's
So-
always
I
a
can't
long day with
wait
us.
till the end of the show. It's gonna
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Great.
So I want to thank the all new nerds for coming on our show today. Thank you, Johnny and Dylan. And
Thank you.
we can't thank you guys enough for coming to hang out with us and chat. And you can find us
Always.
everywhere at HoloNet Marauders. Everywhere is HoloNet Marauders. And
A double Boba.
Double Boba.
Double Boba.
What
What
is
is
it?
double
Anyway,
Boba?
thank you so much for listening to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. We'll be back soon. So see you next time on the HoloNet Marauders podcast.
See you
See
guys.
ya.